Good morning, students. Today I am here to explain fourth chapter of geography, maps. In the previous chapter we studied about globe. Globe, it is a true model of the earth. Globe, it is a miniature form of the earth. When we want to study the earth as a whole, globe is very useful. But if we want to study any part of the earth, that is about a country, state, town, village, district, that time globe is not useful. So when we want to study a part of the earth, that is our country, states, towns, villages, that time map is useful. So we can say map is useful to study a part of the earth, that is country, states, towns, villages, districts, etc. What is meant by map? Map, it is a representation or a drawing of earth's surface on a part of each drawn on the flat surface using a scale. I repeat, map, it is a representation or a drawing of earth's surface or a part of each drawn on a flat surface according to a scale or with the help of scale, that is map. The book of maps that is called Atlas, and I hope that you all have Atlas. When you observe this book Atlas, you find different types of maps. Maps, they provide more information than a globe. If you look at the map, you find that more information are given, and in map it is useful to study only a part of the earth, that includes that country, towns, villages, districts, etc. So maps, they provide more information than a globe. There are three types of maps: physical maps, political maps, and thematic. I repeat, there are three types of maps: physical maps, political maps, and thematic maps. There are three types of maps: physical maps, political maps, and thematic maps. Now let's understand them. First, physical maps. Maps showing natural features or maps showing physical features or maps showing relief features such as mountains, oceans, rivers, plateaus, plains, etc. are known as physical maps. I repeat, maps showing natural features or maps showing physical features or maps showing relief features such as mountains, forests, rivers, plateaus, plains, oceans, etc. are known as physical maps. Physical maps, they are also called relief maps. As physical or natural, they are also known as relief features. So it is also known as relief maps. Next come political maps. Maps showing cities, towns and villages and countries and states of the world with their boundaries. Such maps, they are known as political maps. I repeat, the map showing towns, villages, cities and different states, countries of the world with their boundaries, those maps are known as political maps. And the last one, thematic maps. Some maps focus on specific information. It means some maps they are based on some themes. Those maps they are known as thematic maps. I repeat that some maps focus on specific information or some maps focus on some specific themes such as road maps, rainfall maps, maps showing distribution of forests, industries, etc. Such maps are thematic maps. These thematic maps they focus on particular theme, so they are known as thematic maps. So there are three types of maps: physical maps, political maps, and thematic maps. Now let's understand three components of maps. There are three components of maps and they are distance, direction and symbol. Remember, there are three components of maps: distance, direction and symbol. First, understand distance. Students, maps are drawings which reduce the entire world or a part of it to fit on a sheet of paper. We know that map it is a representation of the earth's surface or a part of it on a small or on a flat surface using the scale. So maps they are drawing that which reduce the entire world or a part of it to fit on a sheet of paper. So when we do this activity, it means maps are drawn to reduce the scales. When we draw the maps of any area, we reduce the scales. Reduction is done carefully so that the distance between the places is real. Now when we reduce the distance on the map, that time we have to be precise, we have to be very careful that the distance between two places or the distance between the places should be real. The actual distance as well as the distance what we show on the map, it seems real. That much we have to be precise, that much we have to be careful when we draw a map. Now it is possible when a small distance on paper represents a large distance on the ground. It is said that it is possible when a small distance on a paper represents a large distance on the ground. That we can do with the help of scale, and therefore we use a scale. So what is that scale? Scale, it is the ratio between actual distance on the ground and the distance shown on the map. I repeat, ratio between the actual distance on the ground and the distance shown on the map. Let's understand it. If you want to draw the map of the area where your school and your house is located. Now your school is 10 kilometers away from your house. Now when you draw the map, is it possible to draw that 10 kilometer line on a sheet of paper? No, it is not possible. For that we have to choose a scale. We have to use a scale. So we can mention that 1 centimeter is equal 5 kilometers. I repeat, we take that 1 centimeter is equal 5 kilometers, and then by 2 centimeter we can show the distance between the house and your school. So that scale is useful. We cannot draw 10 kilometer line on a sheet of paper when we draw the map. So that we choose or we select a scale. Now this scale, it is of two types, that is a small scale map and a large scale. Whenever we want to show the large areas such as continents, countries, that time we use small scale. It means that for less we use, for example, 5 centimeter, it shows 500 kilometer. When we want to show a large area such as continents and countries, that time we take that 5 centimeter that shows 500 kilometer. That is small scale map. Whereas when we want to show a small area such as towns, cities, villages, that time that 5 centimeter we 5 centimeters shows 500 meters. That is large scale map. And this large scale map provides more information than small scale map. This is the first component of the map, distance. Second component of a map, that is directions. Most maps contain an arrow marked with letter N at the upper right hand. When you observe the atlas or when you observe the map, that time at upper right hand you find an arrow marked with letter N. That N stands for north. It shows that it is north direction, and that line, it is known as the north line. We can find out the other directions if we know the north direction. I repeat, we can find out the other directions if we know the north direction, and that is why on the maps, most maps contain an arrow marked with letter N at the upper right hand. How we can find? See, north, this is north, so its opposite, that is south. At its right side it is east, and its opposite, that is west. So if we see, if we know north side or north direction, we can easily get its opposite, that is the south direction. Its right side, it is east direction. Its left side, that is west direction. Even so, here remember this north, south, east and west. These are major directions. 4 major directions are north, south, east and west. And these 4 points N, S, E and W, north, south, east and west, these points, they are known as cardinal points. Now here you can see that the direction between this north and east, that I have written NE, so it stands for northeast. Its opposite side, the area or the direction between north and west, that is northwest. Same that the direction between south and east, that is southeast, and the direction or the area between south and west, that is southwest. These are intermediate directions. 4 major directions: north, south, east and west. 4 intermediate directions: northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. And this point N, S, E and W, they are cardinal points. A compass, it is an instrument used to find out main directions. We know this instrument, a compass, it is useful to find out directions. Third important component of map, that is symbol. Students, it is not possible to draw various features on the map, such as buildings, roads, bridges, trees, railway lines, well, etc. Many features we are not able to draw on the maps as per their actual scale or actual size. So we use different letters, shades, colors, pictures and lines. These are called symbols. Maps having symbols, easy to read the map. Here we can see on your page number 26, here we have shown some of the symbols on page number 26. Based on that we can easily identify that what is it. Now some symbols, they are internationally recognized. There is an agreement, international agreement for recognizing or giving importance to the symbols. Those symbols, they are conventional symbols. Now what is meant by conventional symbols? Maps have a universal language that can be understood by all. Maps have a universal language that can be understood by all. There is an international agreement regarding the use of the symbols. These symbols, they are called conventional symbols. For some symbols there is an international agreement to use them. Such symbols, they are known as conventional symbols. Even on the map we can use colors to show. For example, blue color, it shows water bodies. Mountains, they are shown with brown color. Plateaus, they are depicted with yellow color. Green color, it shows plants. This is about the three important components: distance, direction and symbol. Last two topics of the chapter: sketch and plan. Sketch, a drawing mainly based on memory and spot observation and not to scale. What is meant by sketch? Sketch, it is a drawing mainly based on our memory, what we remember, based on our memory and spot observation and not to scale. We can understand it better if we do not know the address of any person or of our friend, and when we ask him, he tells us that first he drew a rough sketch either on a book or on the ground, that first you go in this direction, then left, right. So that rough drawing, that is known as sketch. That time we are not using the scale, that 5 centimeter is equal 10 kilometers, etc. That scale we are not using, only we draw the sketch that is based on our memory, as well as some of the times on spot observation. It means we visited the place and then based on our visit, our observation, we drew the rough drawing, that is called sketch. So a rough drawing is drawn without scale, that is sketch map. A rough drawing is drawn without scale, without measurement, that is sketch map. And the last topic, plan. A drawing, what is a plan? It is a drawing of a small area on a large scale. Small area, it is drawn on a large scale, that is called a plan. A drawing of a small area on a large scale, that is plan. Suppose we want to know the length and breadth of a room, which is not given in the map. So that time we have to refer a plan. If a map is given of a house, but on that map we are not given the breadth and length of the room, that time we have to refer a plan, because a plan, it is a drawing of a small area on a large scale. So here we end our fourth chapter, maps. In this chapter we studied definition of map, types of maps. There are three types of maps: physical maps, political maps and thematic maps. Then after we have studied three components of maps, and three components are distance, directions and symbols. And the last two topics, that is sketch and plan. Thank you, students.